Today we're going to talk about all things menopause skincare, from dryness to aging, dark spots and itchy skin. So what would you say as you've aged, you've noticed the most about your skin?
Loss of firmness.
Yeah. So your book covers that though, doesn't it?
So it does. There are face massage methods that can support.
Mm-hmm.
They will not restore your jawline. And I need to be open and honest about that. Face massage is great for lots of things, but we also need to, from whatever it is we're doing in lives, we need to know certain things, limitations, and actually where other things come into play. For the best results, you do need technology, machinery that is going to stimulate collagen production, that's going to tighten collagen fibers. But radio frequency is basically putting heat into the dermis to tighten collagen fibers. It's about, we're targeting about 40 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, we get a stimulation of collagen production and a tightening. I find it can just brighten and open up the eye area.
Oh, right. So how does that work then? Because if it's a muscle, does it?
So this is working on the skin and the tissue.
Yeah.
So if we're tightening the skin and the tissue underneath and around and even on the brow above the eyelid, there's a tightening that happens. And then a more profound lifting is with HIFU. And this is a technology, it's been around for a long time, but probably become safer and more accessible over the past few years. It's high intensity focused ultrasound.
Got it.
So if you were to have a scan, an ultrasound scan, it's that technology. And with that, you get a more profound tightening, lifting. And that's where some of those devices, you can get fat reduction for the heavy neck, the heavy jowl area.
And do you see the results straight away, or is this something you have to do over a period of time? And then, because collagen presumably builds up over time as you do it.
Yeah. So there's a number of different treatments for stimulating collagen production. The ones that we're talking about, generally, if we're stimulating collagen production today, it's going to be peaking in 8 to 12 weeks' time.
Yeah.
And some of those types of technologies are best in a course, and that's not from the practitioner trying to sell you something. There is a benefit because you're picking up on each one of them, so you get a more profound result further down the line.
I love it. I love hearing about all these new technologies.
I know.
Didn't even know they existed.
I get geeky about all of this. It's amazing.
Well, I like the acronyms as well. Keep us going.
Exactly.
And what about from the inside out as well? Because it's really important to stimulate, obviously, the skin and try to rejuvenate from the outside. But do you work on from the inside? Or do you take a holistic approach to skincare?
Yeah. So the internals is a huge factor, as well as genetics. We can't fight the genetics. But we've got, the intrinsic and the extrinsic factors of aging. Some of them we're born with, and the others are basically what we do to ourselves in our lives, fundamentally. And the nutrition and the lifestyle are the ones that we're doing to ourselves, but we have control over what we can do to those to better our health and our skin.
And do you have any sort of little, I don't know, berries or nuts or anything like that you'd recommend that people take every day in their 40s? Or take a few times a week? Yeah,
I think nutritionally, and it's a cliche, but avoiding the processed foods, increase your greens, your healthy proteins. We need to be increasing our healthy oils and fats intake. So it's nothing revolutionary. We all know this. I am a fan of supplements. I'm a strong believer that we don't necessarily get all of the nutrients we need from our diet. I think sometimes we need extra support. I also figure that we're around a lot of hormone disruptors in our lives and things causing inflammation, and maybe it is too much coffee or alcohol and stimulants, which will impact on how our body absorbs the nutrients that we need. So therefore we need more nutrients. And that's where I've seen my health and the health of my clients dramatically change, but can revolutionize someone's health.
And talking about perimenopause, you say you're 47 now.
Yeah.
Have you had any symptoms yet? How are you feeling about your perimenopause journey?
Where do we begin? So I started an early menopause, and to be honest, since my childbearing years, I have had gynae problems, which is not uncommon.
Yep.
I think I had my first, is it a laparoscopy, where they put a little camera in?
Nice.
Keyhole, something or other. I was early 20s. And I was even told I had polycystic ovaries and I struggled conceiving, but I've gone on to have 3 children.
I was exactly the same, told I couldn't conceive naturally, and then whoops.
Yes, exactly. So I've had lots of periods in my life where hormones and my monthly cycle, be that 2-week cycle or 6-month cycle, has totally driven my life and controlled it and limited it from time to time. And I suppose I was late 30s when my periods dramatically started changing again.
Gosh, that is quite early.
Yeah, but they were getting really heavy and a lot more frequent. The fact that I'm now anemic because I'm losing so much blood regularly, and I've seen this with many of my clients, this is quite a common thing.
Yep.
And even the doctors that we're speaking to or being referred to, they're still not having the conversations with, or I'm 47 now, so it was a decade ago that I was going through this, and back then I wasn't being had any of those conversations.
I think the education's moved on though, and the awareness, even amongst the medical profession, has moved on in the last sort of 4 or 5 years. And then I think the public perception has moved on since people like Davina McCall have been talking about perimenopause, and that's, I think, been helpful. So you mentioned heavy periods. Anything else that you felt?
Brain fog.
Yeah.
That was, I thought I'm stupid. And I don't know, you question your own sanity.
Whether you're getting dementia?
Yes.
Did you question yourself that way?
Well, we do. My mother died of dementia.
Yep.
So in our family, that's something quite close to our hearts. And I was told that an early menopause can be connected to early onset dementias.
And that's why one of the things that they're doing is recommending that women go on HRT because of that. So to sort of stave off dementia, because I think dementia does affect more women than men.
Yeah.
And they're starting to make that link, I think, with hormones. So yeah.
I would have personally chosen not to do HRT.
Yep.
However, I'm on HRT. And for me and my family connection to dementia, that is I will stay on it.
Yes.
If that is the one thing, it has definitely brought my brain back. And I'm speaking openly about this because I know many women experience it, and you think that maybe I'm the only one.
Well, I think what you've said as
abnormal
well about it is so helpful, because often people are embarrassed about talking about their periods and whether it's heavy and everything, and we do need to just start talking about that and helping other women. And my business partner and I, Debbie, we were chatting about this earlier, and it's about just it being normal and thinking I'm normal, I'm not abnormal for going through this, and opening up that conversation so that people don't worry that awful things are happening to their body. It's just part of the process.
I agree, and there's something in me as well that does question, how have we got to a point in our, let's say, global health that all women potentially need to be on HRT? Surely that would indicate that we're doing something wrong in our younger health and our younger hormonal setup, because that's not how, we're grown humans, and surely we should be able to go through life.
Oh, I think it's because we're living longer. So I think the thing is now is, there's a stat I read the other day, I think it's something like most of your life now, our generation, will actually be post-menopause. So you've got this stage from puberty to menopause, which is 30 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 35. And then you'll probably live another 35 after that, and then you've had your 15 years or whatever before. So you've got this, the either end of your life that you won't have the hormones that you're used to having. What products would you recommend that we start using, or maybe should have started using previously, on our skin as we enter perimenopause?
Good question, because I'm aware at the moment that some of the skincare brands seem to be jumping on the word.
It's a bit of a
menopause.
bandwagon, isn't there, at the moment? Yeah.
There is, but I'm pretty sure the ingredients aren't that different to the anti-aging product that's probably sat on the shelf next to it. And I always see your home care, your skincare, you've got to see it as a complete routine. Because I'm pretty sure you've heard of retinol or retinoids. they are touted as like the holy grail of skincare ingredients. It's only one form of ingredient that is speeding your skin cell turnover, which is fundamentally what a retinoid does. Whether it's a high street or whether it's a prescription tretinoin from a derm, it's only speeding the cell turnover. Yes, it can support a little bit with pigmentation, but it won't get rid of pigmentation. Mm-hmm. It's not protecting you from the sun. It's not stimulating lots of other things. So that's one aspect. You need your vitamin C's as a mega antioxidant. It can be slightly brightening. If I was going to choose one ingredient over the other, I'd go vitamin C.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I use minimal retinoids on my own skin. I've learnt over the years that you need that complexity of ingredients. Mm-hmm. So you might need ingredients in your home care like kojic acid, licorice root. They're tyrosinase inhibitors, which will help switch off the over pigment.
So it switches off the production almost, does it?
It can. Some of the ingredients will reduce the appearance of the pigment, and then others will help switch off the tyrosinase, the enzyme involved in the pigment kicking overstimulating in the first place. Okay. You might need peptides. Peptides are essential for stimulating collagen production. You might need, or you will need, your hydrators, your ceramides, your hyaluronic acids, and those types of things. You do need to cleanse the skin. Mm-hmm. You do benefit from some mild acids, some AHAs or some BHAs if you're breaking out. So there's not one holy grail of an ingredient. I think early, let's say perimenopause, the breakouts can become more of an issue. Mm-hmm. And that's where sometimes the change in your routine, you might be thinking, I need to choose things for anti-wrinkle, but I'm breaking out and they're making me worse because they're too heavy, the anti-aging products. But it's about balancing that out. Maybe you do need a little bit of antibacterial in. Mm-hmm. So something like a salicylic acid, which is a BHA. There's only one BHA, that's salicylic acid. But then you might...
I'm nodding, but this is all new to me. I'm sort of nodding away, but
yes. Sounds good. But then maybe knock it forward to 3 years, your hormones will have changed and you might not be breaking out then. So you don't need to continue with that in your routine.
So it's so interesting, isn't it? Because as the hormones fluctuate, so then you need to change your skincare with the fluctuations.
We know that from a monthly cycle.
Yep.
But now as we get to menopause, the ebb and flow is elongated.
Just a bit more extreme as well, probably,
Yeah. And, fundamentally it is the estrogen and the progesterone, which is the biggies. And then obviously maybe you've gone on HRT. So that might change how your skin is presenting.
I'm going to ask you for a top tip.
Okay.
So if you had to generalise and give women at this life stage a top tip for looking after their skincare, what would it be? What's their take home from today?
Oh, God.
Moisturise, probably, something.
No, I would invest in your serums.
Oh.
Serums can hold active ingredients that you can't necessarily hold in the percentages in your other skincare. So if you have a concern, rosacea, spots, wrinkles, whatever, pigmentation, it's your serum that is going to be packing the punch for the result.
Yeah. Well, I have absolutely loved talking to you today, and I think you could probably tell that I was super interested in the technology, and I'm probably booking in next week. I get my jawline sorted out for that. So it's been so much fun. I've absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
Another inspiring conversation. Hopefully you got some great takeaways. I certainly did. If you got a lot from this episode, please follow the show. With your support, this show can inspire and educate more women and their families and friends together. When you follow the Unpause the Menopause podcast, every new episode pops up in your feed, so you'll never miss one of these incredible conversations. And if there's someone in your life that you feel could really benefit from this episode, please share it with them straight away. Until next week, it's goodbye from me. See you back here for some more inspiring guest interviews around menopause matters, life, and everything in between.